Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. We are now within hours of our first snowfall of the season. In fact, a winter weather advisory is set to go into effect in less than an hour from now. However, across the state, those flakes started falling hours ago. The Washington Department of Transportation tweeted out several pictures of snow starting to fall in Snoqualmie and on Stevens Pass. Those aren't the only ones. Check out Mount Baker. At least 6 inches were reported a few hours ago, but it seemed like more was on the way. That snow might just be in the passes right now, but it's only a matter of time before we see some of our own here in the inland Northwest. Let's get right to meteorologist Michelle Boss to find out more on when the first flakes will arrive here in town. Michelle?
Yeah, the snow is certainly going to be much heavier up in those higher elevations, and they're going to need to do some shoveling or plowing up there. Here in the lowlands, we're going to see the snow fall, but a lot of it's going to be melting as it hits the ground. So that's good news for your morning commute. Taking a look at temperatures across the region right now, still well above freezing everywhere. 39 in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, and Sandpoint. Coolest right now across the Washington and Idaho Palouse. Temperatures in the mid-30s there, and still in the low 40s from Omak down into Moses Lake, lower 40s in Walla Walla. Here's a look at the winter weather advisories, areas shaded in purple, and the winter storm warnings for the areas shaded in pink, with some of the heaviest snow expected in the Cascades, especially in those higher passes like Stevens Pass. For most valley locations, we're looking at 0 to 2 inches of accumulation. I say 0 because even though we're going to see the snow fall, the ground is still very warm this time of year, especially since the last week we saw temperatures in the 70s. So a lot of that snow is going to hit the ground and just melt right away. So we won't see a lot of it piling up, and I don't think slick roads are going to be much of an issue at all in those lower elevations tomorrow. Right now, we're just dealing with rainfall across the region, with temperatures again well above freezing. That rain expected to change over to snow by around 6 or 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, and then it's just snow for the rest of the day. Windy conditions as well, gust up to 40 miles per hour, a high of only 39, and it stays frigid for Thursday and Friday with a few lingering snow showers, highs around 40. All
right, sounds good, Michelle. Thank you very much. Ahead of that first snowfall this season, here is a look at new snow gates, or boots as they're called. They'll be on all Spokane County graders this year. They were designed and built by county employees in the central shop, replacing costly and larger gates from a manufacturer. This is just part of the city and county's newest efforts to ease headaches this season.
It's a pain. You might wake up in the middle of the morning and go to work, and here you got a 2-foot berm you can't get across. So hopefully we can reduce it enough that you can get your car in and out, and then when you get home in the evening you can clean it up a little bit better than we could leave it.
These new boots will save county crews precious time, especially if they need to be changed out during a winter weather event. And the city announcing today they'll be reactivating warming centers starting tomorrow. Shelter space will be made available for anyone trying to get warm, as well as several city library locations. For a full list of resources, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. Now to some breaking news at this hour. Fire District 9 is responding to a house fire on Northview Road near Country Homes in North Spokane tonight. Not much is known at this hour, but people nearby were able to see flames and smoke from a few blocks over. We are working to confirm more details, including if anyone was inside the home and the cause of the fire. This is a developing story. We will bring you updates just as soon as we learn more. Also, just into our newsroom, State Highway 3 has reopened after being closed for more than 5 hours tonight. That closure was due to a deadly crash. According to the Idaho State Patrol, a 40-year-old woman driving from St. Mary's drove off the road and into a ditch. She was not wearing a seatbelt, according to police, and was thrown from her Toyota 4Runner. She was pronounced dead at the scene. ISP is investigating tonight. New tonight, 9 stolen cars and a hole cut in the roof. That's what employees at Northtown Auto Sales found when they showed up to work today. The dealership's general manager says the thief rappelled into their office and made off with more than a dozen sets of keys. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk shows us new surveillance video.
Well, believe it or not, employees at Northtown Auto Sales say this isn't the first time someone has cut a hole in their roof to get inside the building. Police were able to recover some of the stolen cars, but tonight, this dealership is still missing quite a few sets of keys.
This giant dog is hard to miss driving down Division Street, and early this morning, he wasn't the only one on the roof of Northtown Auto Sales.
They had knocked through 2 layers basically of a vent to get into the office.
General Manager Nick Arata says the Mission Impossible style heist started just before 2 this morning.
One person came in, rappelled down through the roof, grabbed 15 sets of keys, rappelled back up the roof, and then he stole a minivan. So he was, pretty thought out process. He didn't take a sports car for the first one.
Arata says the thief used the minivan to pick up more thieves.
Bringing people, dropping them off, taking cars, and they were driving them off the lot.
Over the course of 3.5 hours, they got away with 9 cars and keys for 6 others.
We're pretty numbed like the petty theft. But when, they show up and they take 9 cars and you got $250,000 worth of inventory missing, now you're like, oh my gosh.
Arata says they've dealt with criminals drilling gas tanks and breaking car windows.
The day before yesterday, someone broke into a Toyota Corolla and took the nav screen.
And less than a year ago, someone cut through the roof, but nothing was stolen.
We didn't think they were going to come back through the roof again and do a Mission Impossible, but they did.
Hours into their investigation today, Spokane police arrested a man and recovered several of the stolen cars, including this BMW and Mercedes. Arata says he's making improvements to security and finding a safer way to store their rack of keys. Northtown Auto may also need a new guard dog.
Yeah, he is not doing his job. He is too well fed or something.
The Spokane police have not identified that man arrested, but tell us that he's facing 9 counts of vehicle theft and 1 count of commercial burglary. Police say their investigation is ongoing. Reporting in North Spokane tonight, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
And now to our night beat with a quick look at the day's top stories. The Spokane chapter of the NAACP, along with 9 other local minority groups, is pushing back against several Spokane County commissioners tonight. This after commissioners appointed Jennifer Morton of Airway Heights as chair of the Racial Equity Committee. The minority groups wrote a letter saying the process lacked intentional public engagement and discussion. The local NAACP president says that for a position that leads efforts in addressing racial disparities, more should have been done.
What we're looking for in this is to have have the county commissioners do an authentic reach into communities that pull us in to deal with the problems that we're having that they're saying they have to deal with.
In the expectations for the racial equity chair laid out by the NAACP, it states that applicants should have a broad understanding of the regional criminal justice system, have the ability to be an active participant on the council, and be a Spokane County resident. Well, take a look at your screen. Do you recognize any of these men? The Spokane County Sheriff's Office is investigating a fight that caused more than $50,000 in damage to a music store. The cars shown here are all believed to belong to the men. Deputies say a group of men assaulted a man sitting in his car. That man then tried to drive his car, crashing it into the front window of a music store. Deputies are now asking anyone with information on who they are to please come forward. And the man arrested for making threats on Eastern Washington University's campus last week faced a judge today. According to new court documents, Justin Hale was collecting signatures for a petition to ban gender-inclusive bathrooms. Victims said he was using a racial slur, and when confronted about it, he became more aggressive. Court documents state that Hale then threatened to shoot up the school. Well, he then turned himself into police. He is charged with 2 counts of making bomb threats. Idaho State Police are searching for a missing man with, quote, extenuating medical conditions. 47-year-old Aaron Osborne was last seen on October 17th in Kamiah on Business Route 12. Police say he was reportedly driving a blue 1997 Toyota Camry with a tan hood and is believed to be heading toward US 12. He has brown hair and brown eyes, weighs about 185 pounds, and is 5 feet 11 inches tall. Anyone with information on Osborne is asked to call that number right there at the bottom of your screen. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com.
We're going to restore your trust in what we do here. You're going to see a new form of government, and we are going to move this quickly. This group.
Well, that was Mike Johnson, House Republicans' latest nominee for the Speaker of the House. In a late-night closed-door meeting, Johnson received 128 votes, defeating Florida's Byron Donalds. Johnson is the 4th Republican Speaker nominee in 3 weeks, the 2nd nominee of the day. Lawmakers will decide whether to bring Johnson's nomination for a full House vote tomorrow at noon. Well, tonight the United States and other world leaders are working around the clock to secure the release of hostages from Gaza as the war between Israel and Hamas rages on. Hundreds of thousands of Israeli troops remain positioned along the border ahead of an anticipated ground invasion. Tonight we also heard from one of the hostages released yesterday. She said her kidnappers draped her over a motorcycle before leading her through a vast network of underground tunnels. Her husband is among the 200 that are still held hostage by Hamas. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.